Now, if you want to save your wallet, do not watch this video because these irons are ridiculous. And if you watch it, you're going to want to buy them. So the brand new Titleist T100 irons going up against the also brand new T150 irons. Looks, sound, feel, and of course performance in this head-to-head test. I cannot wait for this one. I loved the old irons. These look unbelievable. So let's do it. If you're new to the channel, then welcome along. Please do consider subscribing because we've got some fantastic content coming, and you've joined us at the perfect time because we're jumping into the performance section of this video. And first up is the Titleist T100 iron, your traditionally lofted 34-degree player's cavity back iron. Stunning iron this, but really, how well does it perform? Because the performance is quite staggering. Go in. Ooh. Absolutely, just, yeah, really good numbers. Absolutely. Oh, I do like this iron. Oh, it just, yeah, unreal. Oh, performance, extremely good. So I mean, it is playing 2 yards downhill on the software, to be fair. So flat carry, 183 versus 185 carry on the software. So it's 2 yards downhill, but still 130 mile an hour ball speed from a 34-degree traditionally lofted 7-iron, player's cavity back design. I mean, there's nothing crazy going on trying to increase that ball speed. It's still going to be very, very consistent in the way it reacts, but still, I just feel like you get a lot out of it, and it just so good. Quite frankly, for a player's cavity back iron, just astonishing performance from the T100. I cannot wait to do new versus old. Now this could be even better. Jumping into the 150 performance, let's take a look and see how it performs against the 100. Felt pretty good. Pretty good. It's just, oh, these things go far. Yeah, did feel a tiny bit heely in all fairness. So we are obviously jumping 2 degrees stronger in loft, similar to the old 100 versus 100S, the 100 being 34, this being 32. So we're obviously going to expect to see a little bit more distance, but we're going to touch on the exact numbers at the end. But yeah, cannot grumble at that one. Oh, that felt so good. That is just gone. Wow. 134 ball speed. Yeah. That's just, again, for the iron that looks like this, staggering. I mean, straight away, if we bring up the dispersion map of the green, we can see the 150 is longer. Obviously, we'd expect it to be. It's stronger in loft. And really, we'd expect to see about half a club because it's 2 degrees difference, maybe with the spin being a bit lower with the T150, like we're going to see in a second. That might add a touch more. Also, lower spin will equate to more distance. So that 2 degree loft gap, about half a club. So that's anywhere between 4 to 6 yards, a little bit less spin, also contributing to that. And that's exactly what we saw. So 182 carry with the 100, jumping up to an average 188 carry with the 150. So pretty much exactly what we'd expect to see based on the differences between these two heads. So ball speed, 150, we had 129 mile an hour, and then with the 100, 127 mile an hour. Again, with the slightly different design of these heads and the loft difference, pretty much what I expect to see. Launch, a little bit lower with the T150, again, stronger in loft. I would generally see about 1 degree per 2 degrees difference in loft. So these heads are 2 degrees difference in loft, and we see 1 degree difference in launch. Exactly what I'd expect to see. Spin, looking at 6.5, nice numbers with the T100, really don't mind that at all. And 6.1 with the 150 on average. Again, both actually pretty good, to be honest. Both peaked at pretty much identical peak heights. We had 112 with the T100 and 110 with the T150. So pretty much exactly the same height. Descent angles were pretty much the same. Both going to come in and stop nice and softly. Absolutely no issues with that whatsoever. So across the board from a performance perspective, obviously see a bit more ball speed from the 150 expected, bit lower launch and lower spin from the 150 expected, and about half a club more carry expected. Just to flick over to the club data to show you how closely I swung these two. So the club speed pretty good, 96, 95.3, so 0.7 of a mile an hour in it. We can see that the 150 was just more efficient. So even though we swung it a tiny bit faster, we got a bit more efficiency. So we're getting a bit more pop out of that head. Again, we'd expect. Dynamic loft, again, obviously we'd expect to see a difference here with them being 2 degrees difference in loft, and we see 2 degrees difference in dynamic loft, 25 to 27. Again, what we'd expect. Dynamic lie, the same. Face angle, is that 1 degree difference? Okay, pretty good, to be fair. I let myself off 1 degree, path the same, angle of attack the same, strike the same. So realistically, all pretty similar across the board, apart from a little bit more pop out of the 150. And obviously we're seeing a dynamic loft difference as exactly as we expect to. So the centered strikes are all very well and good, but what about the bad ones? Well, let's see what the T100's got. That was so toey. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous. I mean, look, wait for that strike. Just low toe, felt definitely nowhere near the middle. That ball speed would we drop, so actually swung slightly slower there at 95 mile an hour, still 126 ball speed. So really we dropped probably 2-3 mile an hour ball speed relative to the swing speed. Still 1.8, 1 carry, dropped 4 yards. I mean, that's forgiving. I don't even know if I've got anything to add to that, to be honest. Just so good. So let's have a look at the T150, see what that's got. Ugh. That did not feel great, I must say. Yeah, again, super low toe. Very similar to that one that I hit with the T100. Didn't feel good, felt very toey. That's just beyond the joke. Now, I've gamed the 100S irons for the last year, and this is one of the most staggering things about these irons and what we just demonstrated there for the size and the profile of these irons. Unbelievably forgivable. Now, a lot of you will probably be watching saying, you know, you're a good player, it's going to be different for us. Well, I'd say I'll put you to the test at that. Go and test these irons in the proper environment on quad, where you can measure all of those data points and quantify everything, your speed, your delivery, your strike, all of that with an experienced fitter, and test them against your more forgiving options. And I guarantee you, with all of this data, you will genuinely be surprised. These irons, honestly, surprisingly forgiving. So let's touch on feel and sound very quickly then. So we've got both the clubs here, 100 and 150, both have exactly the same shafts in them. So yeah, from hitting them so far, I don't think I've been able to feel too much difference in feel. Caught that just a little bit thin, to be honest, but it's just so good. That was the 150. 1.8, was that 1.84 carry with a thin shot? Yeah, like low heel. I mean, that's just absolutely absurd. So good. Now the 100. Again, yeah, looks nice out. We'll touch on looks as well. Oh, so it just feels so good. Like just crispy and it does feel a bit more solid, I would say. The T100, obviously this being the 7 iron of the 150, slightly more hollow, lower body construction. Again, the tech talk will come more in my new versus old head versus heads, but that 7 iron in the T100, oh, yeah, that feels really, really nice. Yeah, it's definitely, again, this is back in the 150. You can definitely feel like it's got a little bit more pop to the face, which obviously has, it goes absolutely miles. A little bit more pop to the face, a little bit cracky, not quite as solid as the 100. So personally, I'd have to give the feel to the 100, but they do both honestly feel so good. So looks, and we're going to start down by the ball because this really is where one of the most noticeable changes has been made into the new generation. The new 100 looks obviously quite similar to the old 100. Again, we'll touch on that in the head-to-head. But the new 150, definitely noticeably bigger top line than the 100. I mean, it's still a small top line. I wouldn't say it's big, but it is definitely noticeably a little bit bigger. And it's got a little bit of a, it almost looks like the heel is a tiny bit smaller, and it gets wider a little bit as it goes up out into the toe, which I don't know if I completely love that. I'm not sure if it's an optical illusion, that's just how it looks to me. So to my eye, 100, absolutely love it. The shape, the top line, offset, everything absolutely gorgeous. 150 maybe looks a tiny bit bigger top line, possibly a fraction more offset. I'm talking a fraction. But yeah, still both stunning looking clubs. Obviously from this angle, I mean, there's obviously nothing to choose between them. They've been designed to blend, and they do blend, and they look pretty much the same, don't they, really? So the only thing is from the sole design, which has been changed a little bit, to be honest, in these ones, which is a nice design change, which again, I'm going to touch on in the new versus old head versus head. So yeah, plug in that quite a lot. It is just a little bit of a bigger sole design in the 150, again in the head, a little bit slimmer in the 100. Not much though, like you really wouldn't, in the bag next to each other, you wouldn't notice loads, but there is just a little bit in it. But all in all, I mean, just, in my opinion, just stunning looking clubs. So there we have it, looks, sound, feel, and performance review, 100 versus 150. Honestly, these irons are amazingly, staggeringly impressive. I love them. I love my old 100S. I love these irons. Without question, one of these will be going in my bag. Probably the 100s, to be honest, but absolutely incredible. Love them. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment below. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what you want to see next. As always very open to ideas on this channel. Would love to hear your thoughts. Please consider liking and subscribing the video. It means a lot to me. Again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.